Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session of the Marine API Tech Talk and Office Hours. We are so happy to have you joining us this session because today is a special session since we will be having a special guest to walk us through. The agenda we have for today is presenting you what's the community about in case you're new to these sessions of the Marine API community. Then we'll hand it over to Laura, who is going to be our speaker for today, and she's going to be talking to us about tips for successful developer portals. From then we'll go to Q&A for the presentation Laura will give to us, and then we'll wrap up. Quick recap. For those of you who may not know about the Marine API community, this is a global community who started in Madrid, and now it has evolved to a global network for Apigee and application integration enthusiasts. So the main goal for this community is to empower knowledge sharing, accelerate adoption, and have a strong connected community worldwide for people that can be connecting across these topics. So just to remind you of our simple rules that we have for these sessions, we'll have 2 to 15 minutes presentation. In this time, we'll have Laura taking over the space to walk us through the developer portals. From there, we'll go to the Q&A to ask questions about the topics she will share with us. In this time, we will not have office hours, but we will you for the next week for the regular office hours on our cadence. Then rest assured that this session will be recorded and we'll share with you via the Google Cloud community. And if you would like to be part of these sessions and have a speaking opportunity, just reach out. We would love to have you joining us to give a session in here as part of the community. And so for the Q&A that we'll have with Laura, please let's leave the questions at the end, but you can look up for these 3 shape icons in your Google Meet sessions, and then you can be sharing your questions for Laura over there, or just leave them in the chat, but we'll go over to them at the end. So let me start to introduce you to our speaker of today. Laura Vass is a co-founder of Pronovics, and organizer and co-host of the DevPortal Awards and the API TechTalks event series. She researches trends and best practices in developer portal focus areas, and with a master in chemistry and academic studies in functional genomics, her interests include that are not limited to complex system dynamics, social technical practices, Aikido, conflict mediation, and plan-driven garden design. So thank you so much, Laura, for joining us today. I'll hand it over to you, and welcome to the Marine API Tech Talk and Office Hours.
Thank you, Alexandra, and welcome everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. Let me take over the screen sharing. Hope it works. Are you seeing a blue screen with the title?
Yes, we see it now.
Cool. Thank you very much. So yeah, Alexandra was asking me to give my favorite song, and I was a bit thunderstruck then because I have a million, and most of them are Korean or Chinese or something Asian. But I finally found an old favorite from a Belgian band called Balthazar that I used to listen to back in the days when I learned driving. Other interests are coffee. If you're in Belgium and you would like to have good coffee, then please find me or Christoph. We are very, very fond of good coffee, and we can direct you to the best coffee places. And if you're in need of developer portals, that's also us. So as Alexandra said, my name is Laura Vass, and I'm a co-founder of Pronovics. Pronovics has been an Apigee developer portal specialist partner for the past 9 years. And as part of our community activities, I have been the organizer and a host of the DevPortal Awards since 2018 and the API TechTalks conference series since 2016. These have both in the meantime become 2 communities of practice, which are appreciated by professionals working in the documentation and the API space. So I hope that there's sufficient overlap here, and that I'm going to be giving you some interesting things to think on. Pronovics itself is a boutique consultancy. We research, design, build, support, maintain, and audit developer portals. We build on top of a pre-built developer portal CMS platform. This is customized using a combination of predefined extensions that address common use cases. We bring nearly a decade of DevPortal expertise and professional services to address needs that are customer specific. We have expanded on Apigee's Drupal portal and built it into an open source developer portal platform. This can be used either as software as a service or as a code base that we provide for you as an on-prem solution. This way we can let people steer their own roadmap so that they can actually create a valuable service with their APIs. Just a moment, there's something wrong here. Yeah. The reason why we do this is because we believe that corporate developer portals are not once done and gone finished technical or publishing solutions. They should be socio-technical hubs that are built for business value and optimized on many dimensions. And user experience is one of those dimensions. I myself strongly resonate with the user expectations for a decluttered, cognitively accessible, and multimodal experience, where the information is ready to be served when you're asking for it. Clear information architecture, effective search, and frictionless onboarding, I think they should be table stakes by now. Easier said than done. The community activities that I was referring to include also the API Talks podcast and the Resilience podcast. If you're into the metaphysical, the philosophy, or the strategy of APIs, then find Christoph and the Resilience podcast. There's some very intriguing long-form conversations there. And I myself, I just came back from FOSDEM. If you don't know it, this is the biggest European free and open source conference. We organized the Tool the Talks dev room there, and more than half of the talks were about AI. And it continued on Monday with the AI Plumbers, where I have seen more code demos than I need for a week. But this presentation is not a code demo. I brought you a lot of examples, but I brought screenshots so that it can certainly be consumed later too. So what is the awards? My presentation is going to be contained within the awards, and within the awards, I'm going to be talking from the aspects of discoverability and findability. So not everything Holy Grail, DevPortal Awards. Please know that. The Portal Awards is a yearly, publicly accessible, UX-focused benchmarking study with opt-in participation. It explicitly emphasizes the importance of good documentation and information architecture, user experience design, and accessibility. This is also a space to identify and celebrate new innovative ideas. And in our experience, the successful innovations very quickly become best practices. This, at this moment, happens in half a year time spans. So the concept of discoverability and findability, they are both crucial in designing a developer portal, but they focus on different aspects of the user interaction. Besides the practical inspirations and examples that I aim to bring, the philosophical essence is the following. Take the user intent as the crux of the matter. Keep user intent in your site always. The trends of user experience and solution methods change very fast, and there's always the latest flavor, latest hype, but the user's needs is the innermost cogwheel. In 2023, to bring this into perspective, 57 developer portal teams decided to submit their nomination, and we saw a very impressive dedication to onboarding experiences and setting a new standard for time to wow. If you're looking for the examples there, that would be the Spotify developer portal back then and the Miro developer portal. It was also clearly visible that a lot of investment went into the work of technical writing and embracing communities. The suggestions and highlights going forward, and you will notice that sometimes I'm reading, they are an amalgam of the awards learnings and a little bit of my own, but I'm trying to restrain myself to the words of the awards jury. This is why I'm careful of what I'm saying. So I'm showing you the jury from the past 2 years. I am the one who's hosting and guiding the panel of jurors to create a space that allows them to keep their evaluations confidential and impartial. They are always volunteers with extensive knowledge of API programs, developer portals, and API documentation. The past autumn, I had the joy and the honor of supporting a large jury panel, 16 wonderful people. Some of them you will be able to meet at our conferences, and the recordings are also available with the interviews I had with them. In 2024, 42 developer portal teams stepped forward to join the DevPortal Awards. This includes renowned global awards and promising SMEs. Today, a visitor to your developer portal will expect and appreciate a decluttered, accessible, multimodal experience. While many portals provide useful information, you have everything readily available from the main landing page. The challenge here lays in presenting the offerings clearly while allowing users to explore API libraries, use cases, prices, compliance, testimonials, technical docs, etc. But with all this, it can be very easy to create noise and in turn make it difficult to find a product that fits the user's need. You want to create a way to provide technical depth without compromising the ease of navigation to finding the right product, considering both the deeply technical and the mostly business case-oriented users. So what is this key difference that I was alluding to between discovery and findability? Findability refers to how easily users can locate something when they are actively searching for it. Discoverability, on the other hand, is about how easily the users can encounter content or features that they weren't necessarily looking for, but it might still be relevant or useful to them. With the principle of every page is page one in mind, the developer portal not only needs to highlight a golden discovery and a search journey, so to say, but to provide a user the ability to switch modus between discovery and search to and fro anytime without even realizing. This is very obvious in theory, but when you're in the thick of things, it's easy to lose sight of it. I'm going to list, without naming any names, some of the anti-patterns that the jury recurringly notices. One of them is that there is no search on a portal. This is more common than you would think. Or there is search, but only with authentication, in which case the jurors have recommended to at least show some rudimentary overview of what would you be able to find if you were logged in. Or there is search, but the results are irrelevant, or this gives too much information. Or there is AI-augmented search, but it doesn't deliver. Or a search that doesn't deliver on similar words or even synonyms. Or the content is unnecessarily jargon-heavy. There is no guidance on domain language or concepts. Or even if the content was easy to find, it is incomplete. Contrary to the anti-patterns, some highlights and strong advice. 1. Include the why behind the product on the same page as the technical information. This makes it much easier for portal users to find and assess the product, ultimately leading to quicker conversions. Second learning is that simplicity improves findability. Many portals struggle with overly complex user experiences, where multiple navigation paths and a cluttered user interface hinders the user's ability to quickly and easily find the resources that they need. For large portals with extensive content, delivering highly relevant search results is essential to improve the findability and prevent users from abandoning searches to manually navigate the site. And a fourth advice is to introduce a distinctive, user-centered features in the catalog. Obsessively research what would best serve the audiences that are specific to your business. And now, let me show you some examples. These portals were all praised by the DevPortal Awards jury. Some of them are winners. They were praised for specific aspects. The examples that I will show, they veer strongly towards great ways of exposing use cases, because if the year 2023 was the year of onboarding experiences in developer portals, then 2024 was that of use cases. This is where significant leaps are happening at the moment. My first example is the FactSet developer portal. They won the best findability of products in the awards in 2023. The portal provides a comprehensive experience to discover and find the right product. As the jury emphasized, there is no one golden pathway. Users should have the option of multiple navigation paths to find the right outcome. It's great how the connected recipes are called out, and we are seeing this more and more often. This portal does very well in connecting solution pages to specific APIs and recipes. Along with calling out trending APIs, having a strong product catalog with filtering and searching. As their digital infrastructure and API product manager said, they developed the idea of showcasing the APIs and the context of large solutions and workflows, making it easy for users to navigate and discover the right product. My next example is an all-time favorite of everyone, the Mercedes-Benz Developer Portal. The jurors really liked this portal for how they tell the story of why these APIs are relevant. They really engage people. Often one of the hardest things to do is to motivate an engineer with marketing storytelling. And here you are motivated to start playing with the APIs, even if you're not into cars. The portal has been especially spotlighted several times over the years, also an example for being very well on brand and on knowing your audience. I'm showing you a screenshot from the Mercedes-Benz Data Hub. My screenshots are from 2024 December, except for the last two that I will show. This Data Hub was back then a bit buried, but you can find it from the developer portal. They were changing things there a bit at that point. And a very similar strong feedback came back about the VM developer portal, that they do an amazing job in motivating and engaging developers. And you could say, of course, like, yeah, robots, cars, sure, it's easy. But it is a skill to know what your strong points are and to play on them. And I would like to show you the system status page from this Mercedes-Benz data products page. The status and the incident history is information that one would definitely want to see. And this one is such an elegant overview table, and the history is also explorable below. And let me show you another elegant status page while we are here from the Shell Developer Portal. Notice the option to specifically search for the one you are looking for, to filter for past and present, and there is, of course, a general overview. The US Bank DevPortal does an excellent job of creating an experience around their products, ensuring that they are readily accessible throughout the entire journey. This is one of the award-winning portals. The jury here was particularly impressed with the detailed description for each product, which clearly articulate the use cases and answer this question, why would I use this product? Additionally, the search function stood out, featuring advanced filtering options and the relevant results that further enhanced the findability. Another award-winning portal, the WorldPay Developer Portal. They have developed a simple yet effective experience that clearly highlights their products and catalog. Their thoughtful use of filters ensures that users from around the globe can find solutions that work for them. The jury here was extremely impressed that they not only provided an excellent catalog experience, but also demonstrated innovation with their Solution Finder feature, which helps users from diverse audiences to find a solution that best meets their use cases. Another portal, the Payments Hub Developer Portal. This is another excellent example for guiding the user to finding the product that fits their constraints, while also keeping them in the overview. The next page is from the PandaDoc Developer Portal. This is an example of how much you can achieve with some attention and forethought. If you can't read it, it says, here's a breakdown of the embedding use cases. So you can choose the one that suits your needs. This is very simple, very effective. There's no fluff here. So I'm going against the general spirit with this example, but what I'm trying to show is that not all solution comparisons have to be fully AI powered. That is complementary, but remember that some people do love tables. And such simple overviews can go a long way towards findability and discoverability instead of nothing at all or something that is not true. I would like to pull your attention to a small nuance at the bottom of this screenshot. One is that clear indication how long ago this page was updated. This information, you can argue, yeah, this could be a typo, this could be a new product, so it's neither here nor there, that date. But ultimately, it's the sheer transparency, the willingness of transparency that works towards building trust towards your documentation and the products that they document. And if you go further in the same page, another example of helping your users with the cognitive load and truly understanding the use case, a workflow diagram. So even if not everyone loves tables, I think many, many people really appreciate flow diagrams. It helps with the cognitive load. And when your visitor is not so technically inclined, the use cases are especially helpful. At a minimum, when you land on an entry point, you should see what we do, what we offer to solve this problem, even if the explanation is not packaged as a use case, but as an intro contact, wayfinding, whatever. Show them how you as the provider solve these problems using these APIs. If your portal visitor doesn't actually know your company, a sheer API catalog can get very confusing for them. Inform the user on what the company does in a few sentences. You don't need marketing superlatives, but those few sentences will not get in their way. You have to help them to find a solution to their problem with or without industry knowledge. For example, the UPS developer portal gives a video of their customers, showing how the customer is using UPS's API internally to make an assessment on delivery or no delivery. As a testimonial, this was an eye-popping experience. It's not just a case study, but a true testament to solve an exact use case. It helps to understand their customer segment, the API portfolio, and how they solve the customer's problems. The Postcoder API doc site is also an award winner in 2024. The site covers easily understandable use cases, and it's laudable here that the copy doesn't presume everyone knows the space. Although it relates so closely and clearly to our everyday lives. But they take that space and give it an awesome spot-on description. From page 1, on all the pages, you are informed what is Postcoder. The jurors called out the concise descriptions, the focus on the use cases, the quick start guides, and pricing details, which made their offering easy to understand and assess as a prospective user. When the awards jury evaluated portals nominated in the Best Served API Business Model category this year, they emphasized that the empathy for the user's journey was critical. And they favored portals that guided users through a product overview, examples of business problems the product solves, and workflows connecting solutions to APIs. So the goal was for users to easily locate relevant APIs, quickly perform a successful test API call, and confidently determine that the offering met their needs. They also noted that the release notes, the status pages, the change logs, the last change timestamps, all of these communicate that the products are well maintained. However, for large-scale platforms, their vast offering and the complexity is a significant issue. It is challenging to show how multiple APIs work together to solve various use cases. This requires a sophisticated translation between the business products and their associated APIs. Some portals handle this complexity better than others, providing a clearer link between products, APIs, and the problems that they solve. The Sabre Developer Portal is a stellar example of how a very complex space can be made discoverable. Not only can you find what you need, and gosh, if it fits the constraints of your use case, the whole experience is just great. There is an enormous amount of product leadership, user experience research and design, and excellent documentation work behind the page that you're seeing here. The workflow, for example, for car reservations, explained in the guides, is spelling out clearly in 2 different ways how to string up which APIs. So notice that there are also alternative options here. And because I was given extra time, let's get into where's the AI. Why was I not showing the examples of AI-augmented developer portals? One is that all of the above examples, these portals have a head start towards layering on amazing AI augmentations because they thought through their offerings and dependencies, because they have professionally written and maintained documentation that they can work with, and they know who their users are and what they want. Although the DevPortal Awards opened the new category, AI augmented user experiences on developer portals in 2024, we had very few nominations. And currently, there is actually few examples of AI augmented product or solution finders in the wild that also work very well. It's a shared pain point that the privacy policies are not clearly spelled out or not at all, or put under a blanket statement pointing to the overall corporate privacy policy. Contrary to what the expectations were, that there would suddenly be intelligent chatbots everywhere succinctly and successfully answering all of your interface-related inquiries, autonomous AI agents would be answering for you on your commercial sites. This is, in fact, a complex use case with a complex solution. And if it's badly done, it can become a business liability. There is a lot of experimentation, but what we think the reason why we received 2 nominations in the AI augmented docs category is because most of these experimentations now are internal facing. At most corporations, especially those sitting on large and fragmented documentation silos, these AI augmented doc solutions are probably not yet widely used for external user-facing content generation, but rather as internal, confidential reg solutions, which is, to be honest, much better than irresponsibly hallucinating all over your clients looking for something. I have brought a bit of a funny quote from one of the jurors that I think is representative of a lot of technical writers' thoughts when they see AI augmented search, which is that if this is exposed to clients, then the company must have a lot of faith in their documentation. Now, current realities aside, this is going really fast. So why would you want to leverage AI? You can leverage it to make it easier to find relevant content and to create an experience where you can discover new possibilities or enjoy a smoother workflow. For example, we will soon expect to see cognitive search, where the search system uses natural language processing to understand developer intent and provide recommendations beyond just keyword matching. For instance, if a developer types recommendation system, the AI could suggest related APIs for recommendation engines and machine learning, alongside articles and tutorials on building such systems. We expect to see content personalization based on browsing behavior or previous interactions with the portal, which will dynamically adapt what content is shown. This is absolutely not a new concept, but the realm of a possible just got a new frontier. We expect to see predictive suggestions and support. So use machine learning to predict what other tools or services might be useful. You can, for example, further guide the developer and introduce them to new features or integration methods. Now, I would like to add 2 notes of caution. One of them is that tracking user behavior has legal and ethical implications, and you cannot disregard those. Another one is a fact well known among documentarians, that the traditional metrics, traditional marketing metrics for tracking user behavior and making assumptions does not one-to-one apply to documentation. If someone bounced in 10 seconds from your content, is that because they found what they needed or because they didn't find what they needed? Technical docs is not long form marketing. However, if your question is, should you write differently for LLMs than for human users, then the answer is probably not so much. When you're adopting LLMs trained on your documentation, what works well for humans works well for LLMs, meaning the best practices for technical writing, for writing technical documentation applies. So if you're trying to optimize your documentation for an LLM, try to optimize for a human, plus everything that I have listed below. And I did bring one example, one of the nominees that was specially mentioned. This is the last example in the Safari. So I took 2 screenshots from the Red Panda documentation. I ran the same search. So one of the specially highlighted solutions was here that they implemented a third-party AI search, namely Kappa.ai, on their docs. And this seems to work very well. At the time of the evaluations, that was in beta. What we really liked is that you see next to each other the traditional search and the AI augmented search. They are offered in parallel, and the user is clearly informed and allowed an easy choice. So if you search for usage metrics on the cloud, this is what you get with the traditional search result. And if you look for the same, this is what an AI augmented search is going to give you as an answer. Well, part of it. Jake Cahill is one of the people who is behind this effort. He gave a presentation in API Days at the API Detox Room last December, but unfortunately, these presentations were not recorded. So Jake has talked about how they are actually using this initiative towards cleaning up their docs, connect their resources, connect the docs being served for their code base, and help support back and forth. I'm going to ask him to come and deep dive into this topic on the AI Docs podcast sometime soon. I hope he's going to come and tell us some interesting practices. And as a closing notion, let me say something obvious, but often overlooked through a quote from one of the awards jurors, that findability ends when you find a product that fits your needs, not just a product. And another even more basic notion to keep in mind is that you should always give clear, meaningful, distinct API names and descriptions, because against all of your best efforts towards discoverability and findability, a lot of the users will often simply default back to Control F. If you would like to keep being updated on our research findings and thoughts on developer portals and enterprise API documentation, I invite you to subscribe to our newsletter. You find that through the link here, bit.ly/developerportals. And I thank you for your attention. The awards nominations for the year 2025 are going to open somewhere later in the spring, and I invite you to visit the website, devportalawards.org, where you can find most of the information, including the portal as I showed as examples, many more interviews from past years with jurors, and nominations from past years. Also, this is where the call for nominations will appear this year later. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Laura. That was a really interesting presentation. We don't have any questions at the moment in the Q&A or in the chat, so everyone is welcome to open their mic and share their questions, comments, or thoughts to Laura. And again, thank you so much for these insights you have shared with us. Okay, so I don't see questions for now. While we wait in case we get a question from the audience, I'm going to give you the heads up to the latest articles we've got in the community. We've got 2 for Apigee. You can find the new assessment tool for the migration of Apigee from Apigee Edge or OPDK to X and Hybrid. You can check this guidance from Ashwin in the Google Cloud community. You can also check this other guidance on how to store Apigee Hybrid Cassandra DB credentials involved by AO. And when it comes to application integration, feel free to check out how to utilize the replay execution functionality and some templates shared by Matt Harmon. When we share this deck with you, you'll find the hyperlinks to each and every of these articles, so you'll have this in handy. And as regular, please stay tuned to all the updates we have for you within the Google Cloud community. Check out our forums for Apigee and application integration. Like we mentioned, we previously mentioned, check the product articles section as well. Not just from these 4 examples that we have for you of the latest articles we have many more content that has shared in there by Google Cloud experts. And we see you next Thursday at the same time for the Marine API TechTalk and Office Hours. And well, Laura, again, thank you so much for sharing this great presentation with us. I don't see questions from the audience, but everyone, when we archive this session within the Cloud Events section, you'll have a comment space where you can share follow-up questions or comments with Laura. And yes, we're going to be sharing this deck with you over email and as well within the Google Cloud community. So if you're not familiar with the Google Cloud community, allow me to please share the link to it. You can navigate through, again, through the forums and through the content sections that we got in there for you. But yeah, rest assured we'll share this recording and deck with you. Alrighty, team. Laura, again, thank you so much for joining us. Any last comments you would like to leave for the audience of the Marine API community?
Mostly thank you for the attention, and I hope that you saw something that was inspiring or insightful for you, or confirm that you've got this. Also, if you would like to ask me any questions, talk about AI and documentation, find me on LinkedIn or find me through Pronovix or the DevPortal Awards. I'm not that hard to find online, so look for Laura Vass on LinkedIn with the DevPortal Awards or Pronovix. And yeah, I'm looking forward to any further conversations, and thank you for inviting me here.
Thanks to you, Laura. Everyone, have a nice rest of your day and a nice weekend in advance. And we see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.